Today is day 6, guys. Can you believe it? Day 6 of our Vlogmas series, and we are keeping it moving. I try to keep it very random, so tonight, guess what night it is? I mean, other than self-care. It is Q&A night. So tonight we are going to be answering some questions. And let me tell you how much of a dork I am, okay? I'm such a dork. I actually went to ChatGPT because I was like, let's test ChatGPT and let's see if I can have it come up with a few questions. That way we can kind of keep it a little bit interesting, slightly spicy while we're doing our mask. And just for the record, I know I look ridiculous, but I am doing the mask because I told myself that I'm going to do a self-care thing, no matter how big, no matter how small. I'm going to do a self-care thing at least every single night because I really want to start getting into the habit of just looking after myself and just creating, good habits. So like last night, for example, we did just a very minimal self-care thing where we oiled our scalp. We did a little bit of our skincare routine and did a little bit of moisturizing on our lips, and that was pretty much that. We really didn't do a whole lot. But tonight, I thought I'd up my game a little bit and do my mask. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm actually using the Fenty Skin Cookies and Clean mask. And when I tell y'all, I just literally put this on and my skin is like, it's like, I've only had it on for like 5 minutes and my skin is like super tight. Like by the end of this Q&A, I'm gonna be answering questions just like this. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get right into it. If you know, you know, I'm on that Taylor Port tonight. And actually, it's Taylor Port, but I mixed it with a little bit of cranberry juice because I just didn't want to go too heavy tonight. So I got my little love goblet, my wine goblet. But this is what it is tonight. So this is what we are sipping on. So if you do not have a drink, feel free to pause the video and go get yourself a drink. Okay? And if you do have a drink, we're just going to go ahead and get right into these questions. And we're going to start with question 1, okay? Hang on. I feel like for some of these questions, I need a drink. All right, let's go for it. Question 1. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? That's a loaded question because I've had a lot of embarrassing things that's happened to me, but I'm going to tell y'all my top most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. So this was crazy. So this was back when I was in middle school. And this is so effing embarrassing. I'm sorry. So this is back when I was in middle school. So when I was in middle school, we had a situation where, okay, so basically like, your teacher would like escort you to the lunchroom and then you would have lunch for however long you had lunch. And then your teacher would go to their classroom or they would have their lunch or whatever, and they would come back and get you. So, and essentially everybody would have to like line up in a single file line, that kind of thing. Y'all know how it goes. So on this particular day, we went to lunch. Everybody was in the lunchroom. We were hanging out, blah, blah, blah. And, let me just say for the record too, like this was before like I had a cell phone. I did not have a cell phone. I was in middle school. Like that was not a thing. So it's not like we could pull out our phones and see what time it is, right? You have to look on the wall, look at that clock and see what time it was. Well, it was myself and like a group of other people, like other like kids who were in my class. And we were, going to go by the door. We were standing in line because we were waiting on our teacher to come pick us up so we can get ready to go back to class because lunch was over. Well, it was like probably like a handful of us. It wasn't a lot, but it was just like, we were looking around. We're like, dang, where is everybody else? Like we came with a whole classroom full of people and we're like, it's just the 5 of us here. So we're like, we don't know where the rest of our classmates are. So we were like, okay, this is kind of strange. So we're just standing by the door waiting on our teacher just to come and pick us up so we can go back to class. So didn't happen. Basically, teacher never came. And so we were kind of like just lost. So basically some of the, administrators had kind of come and they were asking questions like, where's our teacher? And we were like, we don't know. We have no clue. We're here waiting on her and she's not showing up. So long story short, they were like, okay, well, listen, basically because y'all didn't go up with your class, you guys are going to be in trouble. And we're like, well, how are we in trouble when we didn't even see the teacher? Like we didn't know our class was leaving, but they weren't buying it. So we had to go to the office, the principal's office. And so went to the principal's office and it was just like this is like an annex school, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's like half inside half outside type of building. So we were standing outside on the second floor outside of the principal's office in a single file line, and I would notice that every kid before me would go in the principal's office, and I didn't hear anything that was going on, but when they came out they were crying, and I'm like, dang, what did the principal say to them? Like, I really want to know what's going on. So I was like, okay, so it's my turn, right? So I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, okay, let's just, I'm not used to being in trouble. I'm like a goody two-shoes, but today was my day and I was about to find out. So I walk in the principal's office. I'm super nervous. I'm like, what's going on? Like, the principal's like, I'm surprised to see you here. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe if I make light of the situation, maybe I won't get in trouble. So I'm just trying to be my bubbly self, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm that girl. I'm like a goody two-shoes. I mean, I honestly I didn't know what your office looked like until today. So I'm thinking, yeah, like, well, let's work together so I don't get in trouble. She was not buying it at all. There was like, those little metal chairs, a little metal fold-out chair. She had one sitting right in the middle of her office, and she said, I want you to put your hands on the chair and bend over. I was like, I'm sorry, what? What are we doing? Yeah, it was that kind of party. So she was like, I want you to put your hands on the chair and I want you to slightly bend over. And I was like, I was so nervous because I was like, I know what's getting ready to happen, but I don't want to do this. She was like, go ahead. She's like, let's get this over with. Had the paddle in her hand and she was like, wham, wham, wham. It was like 3 good, like, thrashings. Like, she got me good. And, we were in uniform. So I had like this thick behind, like, uniform skirt on. But like the skirt wasn't that thick because I could totally feel that paddling. She was like, wham, wham. That board was so big and so long. And I was like, damn, I think that thing even had holes in it. Like, that was a torture device. Like, how could you do that to me? And I was like, I was trying to joke with you. Like, I'd never been here before. Like, why would you do this? Like, you could at least go easy on me because I'm a goody two-shoes. But she wasn't playing the radio. She was like, wham, wham, wham. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is terrible. So I'm crying. I'm just like, I'm crying. Just tears rolling down my eyes. I'm coming out of the office and everybody's like, go to class. Go to class. Now you need to go to class. And I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, we really didn't mean to do it. Like, we just didn't know our teacher had come down to pick the rest of the kids up. Like, and my thing is this, like, as a teacher, you're supposed to know how many kids you leave the classroom with and how many are coming back. And a whole handful, you're gone. I mean, how could you not keep track of us like that? But man, we got it, and we got it good too. So I came out of the office. Everybody's like, go to class, go to class. I'm like, all right, fine. So I go to class. I'm now like upset. I'm teary, but I'm also angry because I'm like trying to make sense of why we got in trouble when we really didn't mean for this to happen. So I'm walking to class. And the minute that I open the door to get into the classroom, everybody just busts out laughing. And I'm like, I'm looking around like, I don't see nothing funny. Like, this is not the part where you laugh. Like, I was like, you guys are just whatever. I went to go sit down. And when I went to go sit down, over the intercom, I heard the principal say, I got another one coming your way, to the whole school. So basically, I just got my behind whooped in front of the whole school and had no idea. I literally had no idea. I was like, I cannot believe this happened. This is so effing embarrassing. When sometimes when you find out that other people heard you, you're like trying to think, like, what did I say? Like, did I say something that was like really crazy? Like, I know I probably did. Like, I'm just trying to make sense of it. And that was probably like the worst, most embarrassing situation of my life. That even as a grown woman to this day, I still have not forgotten about that situation. And I know what everything looks like. I know what the office looks like. I know what that daggone paddle looks like. I was so mad. I'm so mad. I felt just so tortured in that moment. That was an embarrassing moment. I shared it with y'all because I trust y'all. But it was embarrassing AF. And it was just awful. So hopefully that, oh my gosh. I hope that provided a laugh for you. More than it did for me, because it took me some years to laugh at that one. Okay, so question number 2. If you could swap lives with any fictional character for a day, who would it be and why? That's a really good question. If I could swap lives with any fictional character. A fictional character. I don't know who I would swap lives with. It would have to be somebody who's got like a pretty exciting life, because I mean, my life is very busy, but it's not like super exciting. I think I would want to, if I could swap, I think I would want to swap lives with like Deadpool just for a day, just one day. Give me 24 hours. Let me swap lives with you, Deadpool. And I just want to see through the eyes of Deadpool and just take in all the ridiculousness that he has to go through. Partially because it's like he puts it on himself. But it's okay. I'll take a little bit of weird self-infliction, just as long as it's just for 24 hours. Question 3, what's the weirdest food combination you actually love? Okay, so I'm kind of glad that I got this question because let me tell you. Okay, so back in 2015, I used to be heavy into like bodybuilding. Like that was my thing. You couldn't tell me nothing. Like I love me some bodybuilding. I initially went into the gym to lose weight, but then I was like, oh, well, I think I can compete. And I wound up competing in a fitness competition, had a great time. But I had to eat a lot of weird food, right? Because you have to think about like how much protein you're taking in, how many carbs you're taking in, how much fat. And so I wound up making these weird food combinations, but the one that stuck out to me the most was like sweet potatoes. So I made a sweet potato mash, right? And then, I love me some avocado. So I would make like a guacamole and ground turkey. And it's so strange, but it's something about like eating all of it together is good. But mixing it up is like a whole nother level. Like I ate it and had like, it was like a mouthgasm. It was so good. It's like so good, especially when you have like some really good sweet potatoes and you mix the guacamole up really good and it's seasoned well. And the ground turkey is just like chef's kiss. So good. So that's the food combination that I tried one time. It literally, like, when you try something and it sticks and you're like, yo, that's my thing. Love it. Love it. Any day of the week, I would have that. What's the worst haircut you've ever had? Oh, that's easy. When I cut my own hair by accident, I had like a crochet hairstyle in. So if you don't know what crochet is, basically crochet is like when you do something with your hair. Either you braid it down or you do like a box plaits or something like that. And then essentially what it is the crochet hair, you just take like a crochet needle and then you crochet the hair through the braid or the box plait or whatever you decide to do as that first treatment. And then you crochet the hair through, right? And once you crochet it from one side to the next side, you just basically tie it around, make sure it's secure so the hair doesn't go anywhere. Simple enough, right? Not for your girl. So I was trying to actually take my crochets out because they've been in for like a few weeks. So I was like, okay, it's time to take it out. Let's go. And when I took it out, I was using scissors to take it out. And I knew the difference between the texture of the crochet hair and the texture of my natural hair because of the fact that it's so different. But it was something about like the way that the crochet hair looked and my hair looked that looked real similar. And so basically I wound up cutting my own hair. And it was in the front, of course. But fortunately, it was just a little piece, but it's still trying to grow back. So that, I would have to say, is the worst haircut I've ever gotten. I know it's probably not the answer you were looking for, but that's just what it is. Okay. My phone locks up. It doesn't recognize my face because of the mask. So that's why I have to keep like punching my code in. Question 5. What is one thing you've done that you're secretly proud of? Oh my gosh. I'm such an open book that I don't know if I'm secretly proud of something that I've done. What's one thing you've done that you're secretly proud of? I know that this is going to sound really cliche, but I'm going to say, sorry, I was waiting on my toilet to stop. So one thing I've done that I'm secretly proud of, I don't know if it's secretly because I've already told y'all this, like within the past like few Vlogmases, but if we're talking most recent, what I'm really proud of recently is that I've been showing up for myself here on YouTube. I've been connecting. I've been doing things differently than I've been doing before. So if you scale back to some of my older videos, like you'll see I've had this channel for a little bit, but I haven't been as consistent as I should be. I'm doing something very different by being consistent and doing the things I've always talked about before, but I've never really acted on it. And then when I act on it, I don't really talk about it. I prefer the latter. I would rather act on something and then not really talk about it, not really speak about it, just put forth the effort and do it. And that's what I've been doing. And so that's what I'm secretly proud of. That's what I'm proud of. And I don't really make it a secret. I'm proud of that. And I want to keep it going. So let's keep it going with the next question. Number 6. If your life were a movie, what would it be called? Oh, that's easy. Hot Ass Mess. Question 7. What's the strangest gift you've ever received? Strangest gift. I don't know if I've ever had like a strange gift that I've ever received. You know, I mean, I think we've all kind of got like gag gifts or prank gifts or something like that. I can't say I've ever received a strange gift. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it. All right, let's see. Question 8. Have you ever had a celebrity crush? If so, who? I've had many a celebrity crush. Let me tell you about my celebrity crush. We're going to take it back a little bit. So my celebrity crush back in the day when I was in like middle school, I liked the Backstreet Boys. Like that's just who I rock with. Nothing against NSYNC. I love me some NSYNC. And NSYNC really has some very good and very catchy, very popular songs. But I was just a Backstreet girl. You know what I mean? For life. And so, but I have to say that Nick Carter was like my favorite out of the whole boy group. Like he was like, I rock with him. You know, I like him. And don't get me wrong, I think all the others are great, but Nick was where it was at. He was like does he have blue eyes? Anyway, if he did, or if he does, he was my blonde hair, blue eyed boy. And I was like, I'm here for it. But when I grew up, I just crossed the railroad tracks, honey. And I went right for, who did I go for? I had a few celebrity crushes. I have to say Idris Elba is probably my most recent. But the thing about me is that even though I like Idris, even though I like Nick Cannon, I was never the type of girl to like hang up posters on my wall. Like y'all remember back in the day, like when, I don't know if teenagers still do that, but like back in the day, you know, when we had magazines and stuff like that, and they would have all of the pullouts and the trifold, you know, stuff, like you would just like pull that out and then tape it to your wall. And you would just have a wall full of just like pictures of your favorite celebrity. I was never that girl. I was like, yeah, no. Like, I think I tried it one time and I was like, let me just see, you know, but then I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this anymore. I don't like it. It's a lot of work to have to put up and take down. I'm straight. I'll just look at them in the magazines. But yeah, I have to say most recently Idris Elba, because he's just a fine specimen of man. Okay. What's one thing you believed as a kid that you now realize is ridiculous? I believed so many things as a kid that I now find ridiculous. I think the thing that I thought as a kid was that like aliens and spaceships and all that stuff was real, and like kids could get kidnapped and taken to another planet. As a kid, like this is just like the type of things that I believed, but that's because that's what we were told, and videos we would watch whenever we would take visits to the library once a week or so. And so now that I look back on it as a kid, it's kind of strange for me to be like, okay, I can actually, I believed it, but the funny thing is putting myself in that kid's shoes and in my shoes once upon a time, I can see how I would have believed that, because there's just so much going on in the world. And if that's what I'm tripping on about it being ridiculous, it's like, come on. You know, the world has literally changed like so much since I was a kid. And we're talking like early 90s here. This was back when like Nickelodeon was like everything, you know what I mean? And so it was like, you know, it was okay for our imaginations to run wild for a little bit. But now that I look back at myself as a kid, I'm like, yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. That's kind of crazy. What's a number 10? What is a trend you regret participating in? That's a really good question. A trend that I regret participating in. Again, I'm going to be that boring chick and say that I don't know, because I don't consider myself a person who really follows trends very well. I kind of go by the beat of my own drum. I've always been like that, just because I just have always been like that. Like the fact that I have Christmas nails on right before Christmas is a huge deal for me, because I don't typically follow trends. Like I just don't. Every now and again, I might jump on something, but I can't say there's anything that I regret participating in as it pertains to trends anyway. What's the most random item in your room right now? That's a good question. I would have to say, random. Right now, the one thing that stands out to me that you probably can't see, and I'll grab it for you so you can see it. You probably did spot it. I don't know. Okay. Did you guys happen to spot this? This is random, okay? This was from this morning, and I still have it, which is crazy. But it just somehow made its way here back to the house. I don't know. But that's the most random thing I have in my room right now. So. What's the most impulsive thing you've ever done? This stays here, right? The most impulsive thing I've ever done that I will never, ever do again because it's mad dangerous. Mad dangerous. So stupid. So stupid. This was when I was in undergrad. No, this was... Yeah. This was the early college days. So my dumb butt met a guy online. And... This is so bad. So I met this guy online. And on a dating site, actually. So I met him online. And we were just talking for a minute. And then we eventually exchanged numbers. Really cool guy. And he was like an up-and-coming pastor out of Atlanta. And I was like, I don't know about that. You know, you might just be telling me anything just to get me to, you know, trust you. Well, anyway, so I met him and we talked for like a long time, a really, really long time. And then I found out that the job I was at was actually holding a training in, guess where? Atlanta. And I was like, turns out I'm actually going to be coming to your city soon. So if you want, we can meet up, whatever. So like I said, we talked on the phone and all that stuff. We texted. Everything was all good. And so he stood on his word. I told him to pick me up at the airport and drop me off at the hotel, which was very stupid. But he did it. And when I met him, I was I was actually very nervous because number one, I haven't flown in like since I was a baby. So this is my first time getting on a flight and as an adult. And so I'm meeting this guy and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I just know that we've been talking and, you know, he seems really cool. We did, in my eyes, I felt like we did get close. But again, it's like my first time meeting him face to face. I was like, you know, whatever. Met him, cool guy. From what I gathered, he was who he says he was. He was. And so he actually took me to the park at night. It was kind of crazy. At night, we had a good time at the park, just hung out, walked, talked, just whatever. And then he took me to my room. And to be totally and completely honest with you, I think I saw him one other time the entire time I was there. And it literally, like, I did something so stupid and so outrageous. That is one thing I definitely regret that I would never do again because of how it could have ended up. But fortunately, like I said, he was who he said he was, and it was like no crazy stuff. It was just like cool guy. And so it was like, okay. So I'm glad that situation worked out the way that it did, and he was telling the truth about his situation. I was telling the truth about my situation, and that was it. And the funny thing is that like shortly after that, we just never spoke again. Like it was so crazy. I don't know what that was about. It was just like, whatever. What's your go-to comfort show or movie? Comfort show is King of Queens. I don't know what it is about Kevin James and Leah Remini, but I love me some King of Queens. Because if you know, you know. And I have been rocking real tough with that show for so many years. That is my show. I love it. That's my comfort show. It is what it is. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I'm probably not gonna pronounce this correctly, but there is a meal, and I think it's called injera insicini, if I'm saying it correctly. So it is like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like an Ethiopian, Eritrean dish, African dish, okay? And it's something that is like basically like the injera is like the bread. The bread is circular. It's very moist. It's got a lot of holes in it and smells similar to sourdough bread. And the zigani, if I'm saying it right, the zigani, it's the sauce that's on top of the bread. And the sauce could be anything. It could be like chicken, it could be steak, whatever. It could have potatoes, eggs, whatever you want in it, pretty much. And basically you put the sauce on top of this bread, and then it's custom to eat with your right hand. So you tear a piece of the bread off, you dip it in, you eat it like a tiny little burrito. It's very, very good. And it ranges anywhere from mild to spicy, just depending on which zigani you go with, which stew you go with. And it's everything. I have tasted some that were made in different restaurants, and they don't come close to how my mom and her friends make it. If I could eat one meal for the rest of my life, it would be that, hands down. There's no discussion. But it can't be spicy. It has to be mild, because spicy doesn't love me. So we're not going to do that. What's one talent you wish you had? Golly. I wish I had a talent to stop that toilet while I'm filming. That's a really great talent. One talent I wish I had. Oh, this is a good one. Talent. I'd say, I don't know. I think the things that I want are more like skill based. They're not really talent based. But if I had to say a talent, I think I wish I had a talent of like being a really good like actress, maybe. You know, I don't know, because I just think that when you act, you're really like allowing other people to gain sort of an experience. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I kind of wish I had that, to just be able to like engage an audience and be a really good storyteller and just like be present in the moment and just assume a whole nother identity, even for a small moment in time, and be completely believable and have people buying that, and you know, just for entertainment, of course. I think that's a really cool talent. So number 16, what is your most irrational fear? That is the craziest question I think I've ever been asked. What is your most irrational fear? Irrational? Are fears irrational? I don't even know how to answer that. Like, so, I mean, I have a fear of the dark, but I think that people would consider that irrational because of my age. They're probably like, girl, you are old enough. You're a mom. You can't be afraid of the dark. You're a mom. Like, what are you talking about right now? Look how old you are. How could you be afraid of the dark? But I am. I think I'm more afraid of the dark just because of scary things happening in the dark. That's what I'm really afraid of. I don't know if that would be considered irrational, though, because that's such a universal fear amongst a whole lot of people. That's like me saying, oh, I'm afraid of public speaking. I mean, I don't care for public speaking. I am to a degree afraid of it, but I mean, that's not irrational, I don't think. Anyway, if you had to sing karaoke right now, what song would you pick? Oh my gosh, if I had to sing karaoke, I would pick a Christmas song just because it's Christmas time. And I would do Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. Nat King Cole. Why not? What's a secret talent or party trick you have? Oh gosh. A secret talent or party trick? Okay, so I'm going to show y'all something real crazy. I can do a couple of different things. And I don't know why. I've always been able to do this, but people are so freaked out by it. So can I show y'all real quick? And you promise not to judge? Because this is a little weird. Okay, so I have a very flexible hitchhiker thumbs, okay? And it goes a little something like this. So some people can stop here, but I can go all the way down. So it's like I can do an L shape with both thumbs. And for some people, they're a little freaked out by that, and I'm not really understanding why that is. So if I give you a thumbs up, you're getting it all the way. 90 degrees, boo. People get really freaked out by it, not sure why, okay? On that note, I'm gonna show you something else I can do with all of my fingers. Okay, ready? Here we go. All of my fingers do this. Not everybody can do this. So people get really freaked out by it. And I don't really know why. It's not that deep. It's just straight, bent, straight, bent. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Okay, something else I'm going to show you, and then we're going to move on to the next question. So this is not a big deal. I can move both eyebrows like 1, 2, 1, 2, but I can do it really, really fast. I want to bring it back to center. I don't want you to get freaked out by my fingers. Okay. Well, okay, it's a good question. What's one thing that never fails to make you laugh? Oh my gosh. One thing. Oof. I hate to like put a category on it, but one thing that never fails. Never fails. Okay, here it is. I won't put a category to it. So there is a special, and I can't think of the name of it. It is, oh my gosh. It is a special that is on YouTube. So look it up. Look it up. It's on YouTube. And it is Mike Epps. And he hosts a comedy show that Shaquille O'Neal put together. All-Star Comedy Jam. That's it. All-Star Comedy Jam. And in that, Mike Epps does the craziest impression of Lamar Odom. Like, just making fun of him, right? Because he's like, oh, he's effed up ever since he started dating Khloe Kardashian and blah, blah, blah. When I tell you that particular segment gets me like I've never seen it before. I mean, that man is so stupid. That man is stupid. But I'm talking about, every time I see it, I die. I'm just like, I'm dead. I'm dead. Just put the skeletons on me, put the X over my eyes and call it a day. That man knows he's just ridiculous. And I'm so here for it. And that's the one thing that never fails to make me laugh. Number 20. Excuse me. If you could relive any day in your life, what would it be and why? Dang. So I'm going to get a little sentimental here. If I could relive any day in my life, we're going to bring it down just a little bit. Just a little. I would want to relive the last day I spent with my brother. I have 2 older brothers, and one of them has passed on, and he passed in September of 2016. If I could relive any day, I would relive the last time that we hung out. The last day that we hung out, because that would be really dope. After he passed, I couldn't remember a lot because I think I was just in disbelief and shock, so I just couldn't remember. And even to this day, it's still hard getting some of those memories back. Some have come flooding in, but years later, I'm still not remembering some things. So I don't quite remember the last hangout that we had, but I would go back to that if I could. Have you ever had a crush on a teacher or someone off limits? Spill the tea. Oh, okay, ChatGPT. Okay, I thought we've all had crushes on teachers. Come on. I mean, I've had a crush on my teacher. I've actually had a crush on my principal when I was in middle school. And yeah, I mean, it says spill the tea, but there's no tea to spill. I mean, nothing happen. So, it is what it is. But yes, to answer the question, I have. This is question number 22. We're going to go to question 25. If you could instantly master one skill, what would it be? Oh gosh. If I could master one skill, what would it be? I would say to master a skill. You know what? This is probably going to sound really crazy, but I would want to master the skill of, is having good memory, like, is that a skill or no? I feel like kind of crazy for asking that, but I think I would master that, like memory. And the reason why I say that specifically is because you don't really realize what you got till you don't have it anymore. And I think around the time, I had a couple different things happen, but with everything happening with COVID, and I did get COVID. I had COVID before. My oldest daughter has had COVID. And then I was also, of course, pregnant at the time during 2020. I think all of that kind of combination of it just sort of contributed a lot to just, the effects of my memory or whatever, or lack thereof. So it's not what it was. I'm working on it, but it's not what it was. I think I would definitely want to master that skill. If that's considered a skill, I don't know. Number 23, what's the most ridiculous reason you've ever cried? The dumbest reason I've ever cried was, there was a guy on the phone I was talking to, and I'll never forget because I was in middle school, and I was talking to him on the phone. We were talking about nothing, like literally nothing. And so he was telling me about a girl that is interested in him. Or excuse me, a girl he was interested in, but she wasn't interested in him. And he was talking about, he was for real talking about another girl. He wasn't talking about me. It was not like that. He was just talking about somebody else. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she's not into you? She doesn't like you? And I just acted like I was I was being so dramatic for some weird reason. I don't know what was going on. I was just like, oh, and I like started crying. I was like, what? Why? Why, ma'am? Why? Like, nobody's watching. No one cares. Why are we doing this? It was just so stupid. I'll never forget it because it was like the dumbest reason ever. 24. What's one thing your audience would never guess about you? I don't know. I think the one thing my audience would never guess about me. So, I mean, I could tell you something that a lot of people are surprised by. A lot of people are surprised by the fact that English was not my first language. As Americanized as I am, I actually was not born on U.S. soil. I was actually born in Khartoum, Sudan, which is in Africa. My first language was Arabic, and I spoke it for just maybe a couple of years, the first couple of years, maybe even a few years. When we got to the U.S., we were born in 85. When we got to the U.S. in 87, my mom married an American, and African American, but she married him and he didn't speak Arabic, and instead of him learning Arabic, he just didn't speak it. And I think that my dad, may he rest in peace, I think felt some type of way about my mom and her children all speaking one language, and then he just didn't. And so to make him feel comfortable, she taught us English, and of course we're in the US, so she wants us to learn English. But then the problem was is that it really wasn't like, there was no push for us to continue to speak Arabic. And I really wish that she had continued to push for that, because I'm like, that would have been so bomb to be able to say, oh my gosh, I'm bilingual. And I can't really say that right now. So it is what it is. But I don't think a lot of people would guess that I was actually born in Africa and that I spoke another language, and that English is not my first language. Because as Americanized as I am, you would think like, this girl, she's crazy. But yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people would not guess about me, at least not off top. So that's what it is. Number 25, last question. What's the most chaotic or funniest family tradition you have? Chaotic? Really? That's what we're doing? The most chaotic or funniest family tradition you have? Well, as unfortunate as it is, I'm going to have to say I do not have a family tradition. So I can't really answer that honestly and say that I have any type of chaotic or funny family traditions. My kids are young right now, 4 and 2, and we are trying to create traditions. And I think that's really important, especially when, when the kids are young. So that's one thing that we're trying to do right now. But as of right now, I don't have anything funny. I don't have anything chaotic. However, I am open to suggestions. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, y'all. My battery actually died right in the middle of filming, so I'm having to like pick up where we left off. So if there's something funny that you do with your family that you find would be like so funny or chaotic that you want to share, please feel free to share below and let me know. So that's it. But yeah, those were the 25 questions, to be totally completely honest. I wanted to do something a little bit different for Vlogmas. I know this is more of a sit down kind of a thing, but I wanted to do something that was just going to be like fun, funny, kind of entertaining. And, just, again, I like to switch things up. Y'all already know how I do. I love to switch things up. So that being said, thanks again. Well, let me just say thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the Vlogmas series. We are going strong, day 6. I can't believe it. Tomorrow we're going to be doing it for a week. Like, that's crazy to me. And we're really not that far from Christmas. Christmas is like in less than 2 weeks, which I can't even believe I'm saying that because December feels like it just started. And we are already at the halfway mark pretty much. Excuse me. So that being said, yeah, we here, y'all. We outside. And we are still moving forward with our Vlogmas. We're moving forward with the giveaway. There's still time to enter. The giveaway ends in 11 days. So you guys go ahead and get it in as much as you can. And go from there. We're pushing forward with going towards our 50 subscribers. We're just like 6 subscribers away from 50, which is like, at least as the last time I checked. So we're doing really, really good right now. Getting to at least 50 subscribers will unlock the live feature, so that way we can actually go live. I can answer any questions. We can have real conversations and be, you know, just have real dialogue for once, instead of you looking at all this stuff that I've already filmed beforehand. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. But anyway, I appreciate your time and all the lovely comments you guys have been leaving me. I've tried to respond to as many as I could, so if I left you out, it's not intentional. I like to go back and try to make sure that I respond to everybody's comments. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. That's it for today's Vlogmas. I'm gonna go ahead and wash this crap off of my face, and I want you guys to like this video. Please like the video. If you've not subscribed to the channel, and it's a channel that you think you want to be a part of, a channel that you think you like, you're digging the content, just go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next Vlogmas, which will be tomorrow. Bye.